If you want to buy a PC from Amazon that's reliable, is going to deliver really good performance for the price and fits your budget, this video is going to be for you. Amazon is the biggest retailer in the entire world, so it makes sense if you want to buy a system from this company. I will go over 6 different systems for 6 different budgets and all monitor resolutions, 1080p, 1440p and 4K, and you will have bonus PCs as well in the description for more budgets in case you have less money than the cheapest one or if you have more money than the most expensive one. I will also tell you the estimated performance for each system, that way you know what you're getting for gaming. With that being said, let's start. With the first system we have the Skytech Nebula PC. Now you will realize that most of these systems, actually 5 out of the 6 are from Skytech, and the reason why it's because they have the best reviews on Amazon, they are really reliable, and they also have the best price to performance parts. Anyway, back to this system, for $850 under $1,000 you get the i5 13400F and the RTX 4060 alongside a 1TB SSD and 16 gigs of DDR4 memory. This is a 1080p high to ultra settings PC. For you to have an idea on the level of performance on a 15 game average at 1080p ultra settings where high demanding titles were tested, the 4060 was able to average 91 FPS, which is actually a really high number considering that we are talking about high to ultra settings. If you want to play easy to run titles such as Fortnite, Valorant or CS2, these games are going to require more of your CPU usage, especially if you want to play on competitive settings, and with the i5 13400F you will be able to achieve 240 plus FPS on average in these easy to run titles at 1080p. And then on that 15 game average I have mentioned, but this time at 1440p, the 4060 was able to average over 60 FPS, so if you want to switch to 1440p resolution later on, you will be achieving the 60 plus FPS on average experience, which is going to be perfect for high demanding titles. And the good thing is that you get DLSS 3, so if you are achieving under 60 FPS at 1440p, you can always turn on DLSS, which is the upscaler. Overall, amazing system for under $1,000 bucks. With the next PC we have the best one for under $1,500 in the Kronos PC. This one has the i7 12700F alongside the RTX 4070. Right now it's on a 13% discount, it used to be $1,600, and I believe this is an amazing price for a PC with the RTX 4070. This is a 1440p GPU that's going to be about 55% faster in terms of performance than the RTX 4060 from the last system, so you get a huge performance boost. This will make more sense if you already have a 1440p monitor or if you're going to buy one, because at 1080p honestly the 4060 is more than enough, but if you want to play at 1440p on that same 15 game average, the 4070 was able to average over 100 FPS, and that's around 40 FPS more on average than the RTX 4060 on that test. And then at 1080p, the 4070 was able to average 143 FPS compared to the 90 FPS from the 4060. As you can see, a big improvement in terms of performance. And you also get an okay level of performance at 4K, so if you have a 4K monitor or you want to buy a 4K TV and play easy to run games, you can do it with no issues and get a really smooth experience. But my recommendation is for you to get a 1440p monitor for this system. Honestly, for $1,400 you are getting a great system overall with a fast CPU and a very fast GPU for 1440p resolution. In my opinion, this one is the best one in terms of price to performance in this entire video. If you have more money, for about $1,930 you get the same Kronos PC, but this time you get the i7 13700K, which is faster than the 12700F, and you also get an iGPU, which is going to be helpful if you do video editing and content creation. And then you get the RTX 4070 Ti instead of the 4070 non-Ti, which the 4070 Ti is about 25% faster. And this is the current GPU I have on my system, and for 1440p resolution I think this is the limit. If you spend more money, I would recommend you going with a 4K monitor, or at least do it down the line, because for most people and most games the 4070 Ti is going to be the limit for 1440p. And if you want to play easy to run titles, the 4070 Ti will get you 240 plus FPS on average at 1440p. So feel free to buy a high refresh rate 1440p monitor if that's your plan. Then you get a 1TB NVMe Gen 4 SSD, 32GB of DDR5 memory, which is going to be amazing not only for gaming but also for productivity work and content creation. And then you get a 360mm all-in-one liquid cooler, which is going to be much needed for the i7-13700K. This is not a cheap system, but if you're willing to spend around $2,000, I think this is one of the best pre-built PCs out there for the price. Now, with the next one, you have two options. If you have around $2,500, you can either get the Empower PC for $2,250, where you get the RX 7900 XTX and the Ryzen 7 7800X3D, alongside 32GB of DDR5 memory, 500GB of NVMe SSD, and 2TB of hard drive. This PC will give you amazing 4K ultra performance, and I would only recommend it for 4K, as I said before. But if you have a 1440p monitor and you are certain that you're going to upgrade to 4K down the line, that's totally fine, you can buy this one anyway. But for you to have an idea on the level of performance, on a 16M average at 4K resolution, high to ultra settings, on high demanding titles, the 7900 XTX was the second fastest GPU in the market, with an average of 113 FPS. For most people, this is going to be plenty of performance, and you will not need anything more than this, especially since you also get the fastest CPU on the market in the Ryzen 7 7800X3D. So if you play high CPU demanding titles such as Flight Simulator, you are going to be able to take advantage of this CPU pretty well. And the other option is the $2,500 Skytech Eclipse PC with the i7-13700K, a 420mm all-in-one liquid cooler, but the most important part here is the GPU, the RTX 4080. If you know nothing about GPUs, the RX 7900 XTX is from AMD and is going to give you about the same rasterized performance as the RTX 4080, but the RTX 4080 has some NVIDIA technologies that might be interesting for you, such as DLSS 3, a better level of ray tracing, and it's usually better for content creation. So if you must have NVIDIA, then I recommend you this $2,500 system, which is more expensive than the other one. But if you just want the best rasterized gaming performance and you also prefer to save those $250, then go with the other one, with the RX 7900 XTX. And last but not least, we have the most expensive one, but also the best one in terms of gaming performance in the gaming Azure PC. This one has the fastest CPU on the market, the Ryzen 7 7800X3D, but this time you get the RTX 4090, which is the fastest GPU on the market in terms of performance. This system is $3,400, so very expensive, but if you want the best of the best, I would pick this one, especially if you have a really high budget. You can play any game at 4K with no issues, and remember, this is the fastest GPU, so if your game is not running well, it is most likely that the game is not well optimized rather than any hardware issues. And as I said at the beginning, if you have different budgets, let's say you have less than $850 or you have more than $3,400, you will have bonus systems down below in the video description. And if you are willing to buy from other companies that are not Amazon, especially if you are willing to buy directly from the company, which I do recommend, you have my video on the best Christmas deals gaming PCs overall from any company in the top right of the screen. Some of those PCs are actually better in terms of price performance than the Amazon ones, so that's something that you may want to check out if you're going to buy a new system before Christmas. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.